Good afternoon. Welcome to MFS, Mobile Fueling System, introduction to how the system works. Um, the system consists of a printer, um, onboard scanner, that's a Bluetooth that gives you 300 feet away from the truck, and modem and computer that controls the solenoid and pulser. What I'm going to do right now is go ahead and turn the truck on, or the ignition. And when you do that, there is a light that comes on the box to actually let you know that the system has powered up. It takes about 15 to 20 seconds to actually boot up. While that is happening, I want to kind of bring your attention down to the bottom here. There is two connectors at the bottom. One is for normal, the other one is for bypass. If somehow the scanner is lost or get damaged, you can actually unplug the connector and plug it to the other one. That will allow you to use the system. But if another way of bypassing the system, if your scanner does work, you can actually take the scanner, and if suppose the driver is not trained as yet, he can actually scan the bypass barcode that is on the box. This will allow the untrained driver who is not yet ready to use MFS to just scan the one barcode and continue to write down and do everything manually like he normally does. At this point, the computer is booted up. How we can tell is because there's two lights that comes on steady on the system. If those two lights were flashing back and forth, that's just an indication that the computer already started, it's already en route. It's just a way to remind you that the information is already on the computer and ready to be downloaded. If that's flashing back and forth as you're driving down the road, it's as simple to just to quiet it for right now. Just scan the login or the barcode right there on the top, login, and that will allow the system to quiet down. Okay, so normally on a boot up, if you scan the login, or you log into the system, say by maybe logging in your driver information, the first thing that will happen on a boot up, the printer will print out a little piece of paper. That piece of paper is very important for the driver to notice, that he can tell him right off the bat that ULD for clear diesel and ULR for red diesel is already is what the system is assigned for. So meter 1 is for the ULD, and then ULR would be on meter 2. So if he needs to change it as we go along, we will get into that, how to change the meter settings. What we'll I'll introduce you to now is the actual tablet, showing you the two apps that are running on the device. There is the one that takes you directly to the web. Normally, the first thing I would even do before you get to the web, just like your phone or a tablet, you can always make sure that you're connected to the Wi-Fi of that truck. And normally this tablet was already linked for a while now, so of course it remembers. But I'm sure everyone knows, you go into settings, you go into your Wi-Fi settings, and you'll actually see the truck number of what you're driving. So we can get out of there, and we can go back over to the manual app the web app, as we were trying to do. So this is the typical page that you'll now see for the driver. You can select the day of the week that he's planning on doing his route, but it will come up as a default of the day that he's actually doing it. So after midnight, it will actually turn over to Sunday if he was doing a route, say for Saturday. We'll go ahead and type in a 4-digit PIN for a driver. That's what we give, a 4-digit PIN for the driver, and we hit the start button to allow him to get in. Trying to get out to the internet. Now, once it does, it shows him the truck that the dispatcher route for him for that night. Go ahead and select that. Make sure you select, when you're doing that, you're selecting right on the letters, not over here, but on the letters, everything that you're doing on this app. Okay, the next thing it says here, please log in before proceeding. Login is right there. Driver login, that is a must. When he does that, you notice that you heard a click coming from the box. So I'm going to hit it again, and this time you'll actually see the box making a notification that that it received that command. Before you proceed to any other part of the app, you must select the driver login. The computer will respond, and then you can move on. Okay, so again, once you hit that, the computer responds every time. If it doesn't respond, do not try to move on. Instead, make sure you're connected to the Wi-Fi, and then proceed. As long as you're protected, you're connected to that Wi-Fi, then you're good to go. It would click. The computer will always click when you do that. And must click before you move on. I'm making it, emphasizing it, that that must be done. So we're moving on to starting your route. Once you click on that, it will take you to a new page, allowing you to see what the dispatcher gave you for that day. Okay. I just want to go direct, just before we look at the stuff at the top, I want to just kind of scroll down, showing you this driver's route. You see, they actually have him going to the refinery to load, then moving on to one of his stops, another stop, then back to a refinery again, doing another stop, refinery, picking up maybe red and clear. So we separate it by two if it's two different products. So let's click on one. So when we click on one of the refineries, you can see that he entered 2,100 gallons of ultra low diesel. So that's what he's supposed to. He has not entered the BOL number as yet, but again, this is an option for some companies. Some companies may not ask their drivers to enter BOLs into the system, but it's there for you if you need to do that. So let's move on to see, as you're saying, showing you here the stops that the customers that he's going to, the different customers that he needs to click on. So when he clicks on one of them, it opens up and allow him to see the start of, to start that yard. That bar is how he's going to start the yard. So just by clicking on the start button, the system respond. Okay, clicking on the start button, the system respond. That allow him now to start scanning information for that yard. If it's a fleet vehicles, all he needs to do at that point is take the scanner, okay, to pick up the scanner and go outside and start scanning different barcodes that he needs to scan to start fueling. Okay, so these barcodes will be on each vehicle outside, allowing him to scan and fuel those vehicles. Okay, once he's done, all he would then do is come back inside and hit the print button to print that information out, and a ticket will then be sent to the a ticket will actually be sent to their home office or to a customer if email is set up in the system for the customer to receive it. I'm just going to show you a few other things before I move on to another yard or so. At the top here, it shows set meter products. If he needs to change, say from ULR on meter 1 and ULD meter 2, all he needs to do is just push the button and the system will respond and change that product. So now he's able to do ULD, or whatever product that your company set up for him to do. He can come in, tap on it, that now configure the system to now take the new product, and he's ready to go. So we close out down on that. This is a little tool for the driver and the dispatcher, and folks in the office can see this. As soon as he's finished with the yard, you can actually see that he already went to that yard, and he pumped 500 and something gallons. He went to another yard and he pumped 964 gallons. So as he goes along, and also if you want to do an inventory on the truck, as long as you put the right information in and keep a track of it, the system does try to keep a toll of what is on the truck as he goes along. So we close down on that. Again, these are just if you want to do a flush or a transfer. All he needs to do is just click on the product, and it will actually start the transfer a process of him going out now and taking that nozzle and getting rid of that red or whatever that is in the line. So just clicking on that product that he wants, because it was already configured for red or clear, then he will just find that clear button. Clicking on that, it will actually start the process for him. If he wants to finish out by just so take for example, we click on ULD. The system will then turn on, allowing him. See, it turned on, and now meter 1 is actually activated for him to flush the line. Okay, so once he's finishing flushing the line, if he wants to keep a toll of that information, all he needs to do is come back and hit print. This pops up saying locating ticket. Just hitting continue, but you also hear the sound of the printer trying to print out a transaction for his record to say, okay, this is what he had flushed out of the system. Once he also did that, what also happened is automatically that information is being sent to the server for the local office to see that he actually did a flush. So anything that he prints, a customer transaction, his own site tank, anything that is printed, also an email is being created on the fly, and that information is being sent back to the office. One way he will actually himself will notice is eventually the printer in about say another 5 or so 10 seconds will print out a confirmation file letting us know that was actually successfully sent back to the office, and there it goes on time, going back to the office to let him know, to let the home office know every activity that was done is being reported back to the home office. All right, so we can get out of this page just by collapsing it. You can see that it collapsed. So again, the same thing. If he was doing this second yard here, and he went in and he tapped on it, it started the yard. Suppose he was doing a tank. If he was doing a tank, there is no need to really take up the scanner in your hand and go outside and scan barcode on the tank. What we have done, we have made it very easy for the daytime guys or guys who are doing tank. All they have to do is is push this bubble. Once they do that, that will actually turn on the meter again. Meter 1 is turned on, and for him, and now he's able to go ahead and print. Go outside and take the nozzle and pump that fuel into that tank. What I'm going to do now, before I even print, I am going to now change the app and move over to another app, which is called the manual app. This app, I came up with it because what the web app does, it goes out to the internet, so you're relying on the internet for that app. But say for example you're in an area that the internet is not working, what we have done is develop another app to work side by side with that. By clicking on the manual app, right away, if you notice, that was the barcode that was created on the fly that for you. The way that we create our barcode, say, take for example, this 5-digit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the customer number. Okay, so that's the customer number. The product ULD. That's how we create barcodes on the fly, and also that's what we are going to be putting on the label maker. To we're going to put on the label maker for you to for you to put on the customer vehicles, and I'll go through that eventually on another class. But as you're seeing, you got the customer number, the product, and if we want to call this, Navarrete tank, then you just spell it out just like that, and that's what will eventually come out of the ticket. Okay. I'm trying to refresh the page. So what another thing you're seeing here is you have the ability, even on the manual side, to configure your products. Okay, you can change the products here if you wanted to. Again, if the internet is down and you need to still continue to work, you can continue to do some functionalities here. Also transfer, again, coming in, doing the same thing, starting to transfer whatever product it was configured for, you can flush it out. Okay, same thing with fleet. If you're doing it into your own tank, just by hitting start, you can start it, go outside and scan the barcode that is on your vehicle, and once you finish, you come back inside and it end, which is really the print functionality there. Okay, you can actually even download. Once you finish your route for the entire night, there's a download button on the internet app. By scrolling all the way to the bottom because you're done, by hitting finish, it takes you to another page where you can actually do a download. So the download option, yes, is on the second page, but on the manual app, it's right there, like, right in your face. You don't have to scroll down too far to see it. It's right there. Another thing that if you notice, this just popped up. Also on the Wi-Fi side, the same customers that you have on the internet side is actually does appear on the Wi-Fi. So again, you can it's standalone. You don't need the internet at all times to keep on working. So again, by clicking on that customer, again, starting the customer, you can start it from inside here, and same thing, clicking on the bubble can start it if you're planning on just doing tanks. Okay, I want to bring the camera up to the top here, and again, if you notice, the lights are not on right now. All right, so as I keep the light up there, the camera up there, I'm going to press the bubble again to activate meter 1, and if you notice, the light came on. So what I've just done is again activate the valve, the meter on meter 1. Okay, so that's so once he's done, again, he can use. We try to replicate the web app and the manual app to kind of have the same kind of functionality. So once he's done, same thing. All he needs to do is hit the print button, and it prints out the ticket, allowing him to see the transactions that he did. So once he's done, that's about it. Once he's done with that yard, he collapses it, goes to the next one, does the same thing. Collapse it, goes to the next one. And so this, if you see, again, this customer, he has to do red and unleaded. So now, most likely, what was on the line before, he has to hit flush. So again, once they get the process of how to just, move along, flush the line, then come back, change the product to unleaded, which is coming down here, changing the product to say, I want meter 1 or 2 to be unleaded. Clicking on it, the system does accept it, and then he moves on to pushing the unleaded bubble, and that will allow the system to activate and pump the fuel and print. Once he's done for the night, again, he can download from the web app, or the internet is not that great, he can come over here to the Wi-Fi side or the manual app, and just push go inside and push the download. Once he does that, the system then gives him whatever yards that he did will be summarized for him to see. Right now, what he's doing is pushing everything up to the server, and in about 10 to 15 seconds, what it does, it gives a confirmation to the driver to let him know that that information was a success, and that now he can actually take that last ticket with the remaining of his ticket and turn that into the home office, letting them know that it was everything was a success. So that's it in a nutshell. Thank you for your time, and I think you will love it. Most drivers that I've used the system so far have said it's very fast. It's reliable. Dispatchers will love it because no one will be calling them in the middle of the night with issues. So overall, it's a very fast, reliable system that I have to offer you. Thank you for your time.